Hi, my name is Brittany Belcher. I work at the Romulus Public Library as a library assistant. And my goal here today is to try to argue that SAM, the print management software at our library, is not helpful at all. It's inefficient and it basically slows us down at the circulation desk, and a lot of patrons and other people are very unhappy with it, and I'm trying to argue for the library to get rid of the software. What is SAM exactly? SAM, otherwise known as Smart Access Manager, is a print management software that is supposed to allow circulation staff to monitor all the printing jobs of all the patrons, their computer use, and their individual printing funds that people put on their cards. At our library, each patron is entitled to up to 3 hours of computer time, and their time is supposed to roll over to for each hour that they are on. Patrons have to pay 10 cents a page for their printing jobs in order to prevent any waste management of printing jobs. And that's pretty much the main reason that we got SAM. Before, a lot of patrons were printing like 50 pages at once, and it was a real waste. So I'm thinking that's the main reason why my director chose to get SAM, in order to prevent all this waste from happening and just to prevent any sort of extra expenditure, even though we got our millage pass. The problems, what SAM actually does. Ever since SAM was installed in January of this year, a variety of problems have arisen as a result of the software program. Such problems include dramatic decrease in the speed of all patron computers, documents refusing to print, web pages freezing for our patrons, complete system crashes in which SAM is unable to function, thus giving us no internet connection for patrons who want to get on the computer, and computers shutting down on themselves. And this has increased so much that we have had to compile a large journal of all these issues, and it's about 10 pages long, and it grows by the day for all the problems that we have with SAM. And the fact is that we have no backup plan for the big, huge system crash, and this happened about 3 weeks ago. We were out of internet for 30 minutes. Nobody could get on the computer, and we had several patrons come up and complain. And I'm going to say that's the biggest flaw that we've had with SAM, is the network crashes. And our only alternative to this crash is to call a help number, and that's not even guaranteeing that the people on the other end can help us. The effects of the problems. SAM has created negative effects in regards to both patrons and staff. Patrons are frustrated frequently at the problems caused by SAM, and some have even left as a result. Circulation staff struggle to keep up with lines and fix all of the problems caused by SAM at the same time. The software program is slowing both the staff and patrons down. My coworker Tammy Garrison, who I interviewed for the paper, she claims that half the time I am at the computer stations trying to fix each new problem that SAM brings up. It gets really frustrating when we have a line growing at the same time. If SAM were to crash, there is no background plan in place for the use of circulation staff, thus leaving patrons without a way to print and potential patrons without an internet connection. And like I said before, that's our main issue. Our director has given us no help in that regard, and that is at the same time frustrating me and all the rest of the staff in that regard. The solution. Romulus Public Library needs a different type of management software that actually works correctly and proves to be useful. Such a software program is known as Envisionware. Envisionware is a print management software that allows circulation to keep track of all the printing jobs by making patrons pay either at the desk or at a vending center that is separate from the desk beforehand. Patrons can also place a reservation on a computer in case if all the internet stations are full. And this is useful with SAM when SAM decides to work. But it sounds like with this type of software, it works even better, and I'll explain why in just a second. EnvisionWare has less crashes, less reported crashes. It has less problems with monitoring patron times, and it has an overall higher level of reliability than SAM. Because with SAM, none of the patron times seem to want to roll over. Everybody's guaranteed 3 hours, but we have to manually do it because SAM won't do it for us, and that's a big, huge issue. It causes us to waste a lot of time. TLN, the library network, it's basically a connection of all the libraries in southeastern Michigan. TLN claims that every librarian that they have talked to regarding the EnvisionWare software package that has switched from SAM to EnvisionWare hasn't regretted the decision. If the Romulus Public Library switched, I don't think we would regret the decision either. Conclusion, we need action. If the Romulus Public Library does not act on the issues caused by SAM, we may lose more computers, efficiency at the circulation desk, and even potential future and current patrons as a result. In the words of my coworker Tammy Garrison, not enough has been done about SAM's problems, and if nothing is done, the library will suffer for it. If anything, the experiences that I have had with this software have taught me to research more before making such a significant decision as purchasing SAM. So that's basically the gist of what I am arguing, and I really do think that if we don't do something soon, our circulation is just going to be efficient going on at this point. So, you have any questions? Yep.
Why do you think that this software was chosen for your library?
I think the main reason is my director saw that, like I said, TLN, we're all interconnected, and a lot of libraries within TLN have this software. I think she kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit too quickly. She didn't make a good decision. She made it too quickly. I don't think she looked into the software, because if she did, she would have seen all these problems recorded. Because they keep a log of all these problems, and it's reported that the system does crash a lot. It has all these flaws. I don't see why she chose to go with this software, even though it has all these flaws, so I think she should have done more research before.
So that is what you would have done differently if you were the director of the library?
If I were the director of the library, I would have went with a completely different software. I would have looked into every review I could find beforehand, and then gone a different step, because she paid about $8,000 for the software.
Wow.
Yeah, it's $8,000. It went by the population of our demographic in Romulus, and that's what we got as a quote when we went by the population.
Are the patrons complaining about the software?
Every week we get more and more patrons that are frustrated as a result of the software, because a lot of our patrons are applying for jobs since we're near an airport. And, I mean, if you're in the middle of applying for a job and you have the computer shut down on you, it's going to make you frustrated. And if it won't if you can't print off your tax forms, you can't print off your government forms, that's going to make you even more frustrated. Because this software costs $8,000, it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do, and it's not functioning correctly. So that has made a lot of patrons complain, and it's made a lot of staff frustrated, because we're being slowed down by the software.
So then is it necessary to have a backup plan for SAM?
When SAM does crash, we have no internet, because SAM is directly connected to the internet. Patrons have to log in with their card number in order to log on, and with SAM down, we have no internet connection. All we can do is basically call this helpline, and when we do call it, we're put on hold pretty much as similar to any other helpline that you would call, and that's even guaranteeing if there are people who can help us. And I don't think that that's a backup plan at all. I think that's it's just ridiculous in my opinion. So, but that's what we're being made to do. I've asked my director multiple times is there anything else we can do when this does crash? Because it happened 3 weeks ago. And when in the middle of this crash, we had a long line, and it was really frustrating at the moment because I had to
Absolutely.
this person while handling a patron at the same time, excuse me, and it wasn't working, and we really do need an alternative to this.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way around it. I think if we keep going on with this software, we're going to lose circulation, and that's something we can't handle with this small of a population that we deal with. So that's pretty much all I have to say. This was my presentation on SAM as in liability as opposed to an asset, and I hope you found this presentation helpful and informative.